Hello and welcome to the WBAP 820 570 KLIF Weather Podcast, recorded Monday morning, March 21st, which, by the way, is the first full day of spring. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton at the Cumulus Broadcast Center in Dallas-Fort Worth. Better get right to it. This is going to be a big day without a doubt. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather over much of the state. On a scale of 1 to 5, the enhanced risk is a 3. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, we're at 3 right now. Enhanced risk means any kind of bad weather is not just possible, but probably likely over a large area, by the way. It runs from Denton and McKinney through Dallas-Fort Worth over to Tyler, Shreveport, Lufkin, down to Houston, College Station, Austin, and San Antonio. All modes of severe weather are possible between now and midnight. I'll get more into the timing of this event a little bit later. But we have over 20 million Texans who are covered by this enhanced risk area, and we're going to have to take it very seriously here, especially between now and midnight. Okay, let's check the satellite loop, and this is the first of two pieces of actual good news that we have. First, for the overall severity of this weather outbreak, the fact that we're mostly overcast, and it's been raining off and on for several hours in many places. That's going to make today's severe weather outbreak a little less severe than, say, if we had some rain in the morning and then it got sunny, windy, and humid in the afternoon, and then we had explosive development of storms just west of us. We're not in a good place now, but it could be a whole lot worse. The second piece of good news is that moderate rains that fell in, I say, near West Texas between Abilene and Fort Worth, they really dampened a number of wildfires, including the Big L fire that was north of Stephenville, which forced the evacuation of Lipan last night. Early this morning, before the rains, it was 11,000 acres and only 20% contained. Now it is 100% contained. They got the rains they needed. We're all very thankful for that. Now, let's take a look at some of the weather maps here that we're dealing with. Okay, this is the noon weather map, or actually 1 o'clock, since we're on daylight saving time. But you can see what a mess it is over Texas already. We have severe weather risk in the dark red shaded areas. You see the Gulf warm front moving up to the northeast. We have an occluded front from a very strong surface low near the Texas-New Mexico border. Also, we're probably going to see a dry line move on through as well. But this storm is really wound up. This is what we call a stacked storm system. This is not only a surface low, but there's also a major upper level low, and I can show you that later on a broader view of the regional radar. So that's the 1 o'clock view. Okay, and now we move on to the 7 p.m. weather map. You can see the eastward progress of the storm, the rain and thunderstorms, a really bad night underway. Again, that red shaded area pretty much matches the enhanced risk area that we're dealing with from the Storm Prediction Center, all the way down to Houston, all the way down to San Antonio, through Austin, Temple, Waco. And it looks like that at 7 o'clock this evening, the actual Pacific front should be starting to push through. At least many of those areas in near West Texas have been getting some of the rain they need. Now, by the way, it's not going to last very long, but when things green up a little bit there, that will reduce some of the danger. Okay, we're going to move on now to the 1 a.m. weather map, normally midnight, but daylight saving time. So here we can see the worst of the severe weather moving across the Louisiana-Texas border into Louisiana and also into the southern Ozarks. Still severe weather there. It'll probably take a breather the rest of the night. Things will calm down, but then we think that we're going to see even worse conditions in the near south, I guess I would say, during the day tomorrow. Also, notice how much rain is over the Plains states and the Corn Belt and all that, and some ice up on the Great Lakes not too far from the UP of Michigan, and also some pretty significant snow and mixed precipitation across western Kansas and even into the Panhandle. This time of year, winter ain't over yet for some of those people. Okay, now this is the weather map for tomorrow. This weather map is good for the whole day tomorrow, so it's pretty general, but it shows you where the area of severe weather is likely to be. Again, from Lafayette, Louisiana, through New Orleans, all the way up in Mississippi, Tennessee, maybe even into Kentucky tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very bad day for some people in that part of the country, and I'll show you their severe weather risk in just a minute. I want to move on to the Wednesday weather map. We'll have severe weather across the southeastern part of the country, from the Panhandle of Florida up through the Carolinas. We'll have significant snow again, wintry weather across, the part of the Corn Belt as the cold front gets on through, and also some icing up in upstate New York, and a minor storm still coming ashore in the Pacific Northwest. Now, here's what I want to show you about the severe weather outbreak that's anticipated on Tuesday. They're going to be able to clear off a little bit. Their water temperatures in the Gulf are warmer, and we're going to see a significant severe weather outbreak on the Louisiana-Mississippi border. And if you know anyone in that part of the country, Jackson, Mississippi, or north of New Orleans up toward Lafayette, you might give them a heads up on that. Now, we want to get back to our severe weather risk right quick. This is the high-res rapid refresh model showing severe weather or supercell potential, valid at 6 this evening, 23Z. There's a lot of lift in the atmosphere, a lot of shear in the atmosphere. That is, winds changing direction and speed with height. And we have a lot of shear in the upper atmosphere, and that's why we're still expecting severe weather despite the fact that it's been cloudy and rainy much of the day in those areas that are still expecting severe weather this evening. And the other thing that's kind of troubling, this is the same kind of map. There's the high res. This is looking at tornado potential, and this is timed to 7 this evening, and you can see very high potential even in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And that is why the Storm Prediction Center has been nudging that enhanced risk area back to the northwest over the last couple of days. And, of course, now it does include the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, you can get a pretty good overview of what's happening just by looking at the regional radar. Off to the west over Arizona and New Mexico, we can see the cyclonic circulation of the parent storm system. It's that upper-level system that's going to have to get by us, have to get to the east before our weather will totally improve. But out in front of it, we've seen some prefrontal showers and thunderstorms, which, of course, help the folks in the fire zones. By the way, yesterday afternoon, we had at least 18 wildfires going in Texas from the Hill Country up to I-20 around the Eastland Complex and the Big L fires. We had fires all the way down in South Texas, 2 or 3 in the East Texas piney woods, including had a big one in the Davy Crockett National Forest for a while. Okay, we want to take one more look at our enhanced severe weather risk over north, central, east, south central, and southeast Texas, covering maybe upwards of 20 million Texans today and tonight. This is an earlier radar view. This would not be a current radar view. It's probably a couple hours old, but it also gives you kind of an overview of that storm system that's out in the desert southwest and then the rainfall that's out in front of it. So please be sure to monitor the weather the rest of the day and tonight on WBAP 820 and 570 KLIF. And by the way, if the weather is bad while you're out driving, trying to get somewhere this evening, please turn off your playlist on your iPhone or your smartphone and turn off your satellite radio. You need live local radio in order to know where the storms are, if you're still on the move, how bad they are, and where they're going. So please listen to live local radio, 820 or 570. I also recommend weather alert apps that can push out a weather warning on your smartphone whenever a warning is issued. And again, leading up to these events, I do try to tweet out forecast information, radar, satellite loops, at Brad Barton DFW if you want to follow me on Twitter. I'll try to give you as much information leading up to the first warnings, but once the warnings hit, then other people will have to take that over for KLIF and for WVAP. So here is our forecast. Enhanced risk of severe weather this afternoon and evening. We're looking at a high of only 68 today, southeast winds 25 to 40 and gusty, and that is notwithstanding the storms. Tonight, the rain and thunderstorms in the area, but tapering off probably by midnight, maybe a little before that in Dallas-Fort Worth. Low by morning around 50. South winds will be shifting to the northwest by morning. Then mostly cloudy, windy, and mild tomorrow and Wednesday, with highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. We'll start warming up again on Friday. Thanks again for joining us for the WBAP 820 570 KLIF Weather Podcast. We will be on the air all day and all night if necessary, but this is where you're going to find up-to-the-minute weather information right here. Please stay safe and good luck tonight. Bye.